not say the cloud adoption has declined. Cloud adoption continues to increase. The growth rate has slowed down a bit. And I would say a couple of things. One is, firstly, we are still in a secular shift to cloud architectures, and that's a decade-long shift. Point number one. Secondly, I would say customers have sort of stopped to take stock of what they're doing right and what they could do better. And what they're realizing is that it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to the public cloud journey. There are many applications. This is what we call cloud smart. So the first decade of cloud was about cloud first. Now they're trying to switch to a cloud smart strategy where they figure out which application should reside on-prem, which application should be in the cloud, and etc. So that's really what is happening. I think customers are a lot more educated about how to adopt cloud, and that's what you see happening now. Yeah, I think what we see in India is just similar to what we see elsewhere. I mean, in other parts of the world. Firstly, like we were just asking, customers are on various stages of their digitization journey. So they need help in building new applications and modernizing their existing applications. We see a lot of interest in our Tanzu portfolio and Spring portfolio. Today we have the Spring conference here. So that's one. Secondly, with respect to their cloud infrastructure, there is a strong interest in modernizing the infrastructure that they have and making their internal infrastructure operate more like a public cloud. At the same time, migrate applications to the cloud using our technology, so we see that. Post-pandemic, hybrid workforce is here to stay, and the adoption of SaaS applications is here to stay. And so customers are looking for solutions that enable them to make their employees productive in this new world. So we see that. We are also starting to see the deployment of edge and telco 5G. You know the obvious names there, and we see a lot of interest in that. And I've not been to India recently, but I'm pretty sure there is going to be a high level of interest in our private AI solution as well. Yeah, I would say, look, the potential of generative AI exists, touches literally every aspect of a modern enterprise and knowledge work, right? So if you've got software developers, this is hugely valuable. If you've got marketing teams, this is hugely valuable. If you've got folks that are working on creating knowledge and content and documents inside your organization, whether it's in legal or finance or you name it, this is hugely transformative. So literally every aspect of a company's operations is going to be transformed by generative AI. And it is going to rely on data. And the data for many companies, still a large chunk of it exists on-prem. The newer parts of it exist in the cloud. And so we're going to see generative AI driving even more multi-cloud adoption. That's what we see. Yeah, that has always been a strength of our solutions, which is the ability to enable customers to plug in local regulations, whether it is GDPR or things of that nature in the US for health information, there is HIPAA, et cetera, right? So that continues. Secondly, we have a lot of companies that are service providers around the world that have created what the industry calls sovereign clouds, and where not only are the data protection laws subject to the country's laws, but the clouds are operated by citizens of that country, and the data does not leave the country in effect. So all of that technology enablement is enabling companies to live with these laws much more easily. So those are some of the ways by which we are enabling compliance to these laws. So our core technology partnerships are global. NVIDIA, I know Jensen was in India recently, is a global partner for us in this private AI foundation solution. We'll take the solution to market with the help of GSIs, and all the Indian GSIs, or all the global GSIs, as you well know, have a huge presence in India, and we'll be working with them. And there is a burgeoning software ecosystem that wants to build applications around this. That's also available in India. Last but not the least, there is a rich amount of innovation happening in the open source ecosystem, which again spans boundaries. Over time, I think these would be universally valuable. Our design partners are certainly the larger customers today. No, more seriously, I think what you're alluding to is two things, right? One is the pace of change that is present in our industry. So that is as much a mindset of how companies should organize their technology operations and culture. So that's the first aspect of it. That's regardless of whether we're talking about cloud or AI or whatever be the topic of interest. The second thing I would say is encourage a culture of experimentation. For example, you're not going to truly understand the business benefits of some of these generative AI applications unless you're willing to do certain experiments. And then based on the results of the experiments, then you will know how broadly you want to take it and how important it's going to be. So I would encourage a mindset change or adoption of the right mindset, adoption of a culture of experimentation and learning. And put it together, it's a growth mindset, right? That's what's needed more than ever.